How's it going?
Can I help you?
I'm well, thank you.
Hey, Joe.
All right,
All set?
What's that?
Okay. This is the Diman Regional School Committee for June 12th, 2025. Need a roll call?
Mr. Jennings?
Here.
Mr. Beegan? Mr. DiBiaseu?
Here.
Attorney Flanagan?
Present.
Mr. Manuel?
Here.
Mrs. Menard?
We have a quorum. In accordance to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, any member of the public may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting. A member of the public who wishes to record the meeting must first notify the chair and must comply with the reasonable requirements regarding audio or video equipment established by the chair, not the individual.
Mr. Maddox?
Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to approve the minutes of May 8th, 2025. Need a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 1.4, we have the DE Japanese Skills USA report.
Yes, members of the committee, tonight, instead of a student report, we have students report. This year, we've had 3 organizations that have continued on with your support, your guidance, and your help financially, and also as judges in some cases. And they're here tonight for a very brief introduction, an appreciation of what you have done this year. So, why don't we do it in alphabetical order? B for BPA.
I'm Ryan Rowan, program shop, and I'm vice president of Diman.
My name is Corey Gaspar. I am in programming and web, and I am the chapter historian.
And we're going to be talking about students' accomplishments within business professions in America this past year. I've been a part of BPA for the past 3 years, and I have to say, this year, every single student really impressed me with how motivated, passionate, kind, and dedicated they all were. Every student are truly representing what it means to be a Diman student, and are fully taking advantage of all the opportunities Diman has given us.
So I've been a part of BPA for the past 2 years. I've qualified both years, and I have also been to the National Leadership Conference last year in Chicago. In addition to that, I've also served as a chapter officer for the past 2 years, first as secretary and this year as historian. And I can say that our members have taken full advantage of this opportunity, and it's been an honor being able to watch these people put so much effort into their competitions for months, and then when it all pays off, they just have a smile on their face, which is honor. This past year, for state leadership conference, we had a total of 34 members compete. Out of those 34 members, we had 24 qualify for nationals, and we also had 49 medals. We earned a total of 49 medals. Out of those 24, we had 10 go to nationals this year in Florida, and we had a total of 5 finalists. We had web design team taking 6, and then computer modeling taking 7. So thank you to everyone who made that all possible.
These students are taking full advantage and are really shaping their futures as we know it. They are proving that not even the sky is the limit. So thank you for all the opportunities for everyone involved, and I can't wait to see what achievements Diman students bring home next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Committee members may recognize Corey. Corey, put your hand up. Okay, he was recognized at graduation as the student who has the credits for the Valley. And how many credits shy with that, please?
I am, so I know it said 8 credits,
Yes.
but I had 8 classes total left. But yeah, I have a total of 24 left, so
Excellent.
getting close. Thank you.
All right. Next, representative of the network organization.
Hello, I'm Angela Jerby. I'm a graduate of medical assistant. My name is Ariana Chase. I'm a graduate of the culinary arts program. My name is Eva Fernandez. I'm a graduate of the graphic communications evening, members of the school committee. I am honored to share with you the incredible journey of Diamond's DECA chapter throughout the 2024-2025 school year. A year filled with competition, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. This year marked the 8th DECA chapter at Diamond Regional Vocational Technical High School, with an impressive 162 members participating across 4 main categories: finance, entrepreneurship, marketing, retail management, and hospitality and tourism. These students dedicated themselves to rigorous preparation, competing at the district, state, and international career development conferences (ICDC) with outstanding results. At the District 8 competition in Hyannis, Massachusetts, on January 9th through 10th, 2025, 68 of our students tested their skills through online exams and role-play scenarios. Of these, 7 students medaled, earning a total of 27 medals, a testament to their hard work and strategic. Ultimately, 54 students advanced to the state competition on February 27th through March 1st, 2025, showcasing their talents at the Seaport Convention Center in Boston. All of Diamond who shined and where students from every shop were represented by either developing business plans or engaging in workplace.
So at our ICDC competition in Orlando, Florida, from April 25th to May 1st, this 2025, our delegation included 12 students competing at the highest level against countless peers from across the world. With over 300 teams in each division, our students proudly represented Diamond, excelling in the school-based enterprise, both food and retail competition, and earning leadership positions through our membership campaigns. One of our standout moments was our creative DECA cornhole set that allowed us to earn an exclusive leadership spot to our international conference. And one of the most unforgettable parts of this international conference was our visit to the Kennedy Space Center, which was gratefully provided. Stepping into a world of aerospace innovation, we were able to witness firsthand how business, science, and technology all came together. We were able to explore exhibits where it showed how entrepreneurship was tied into space travel. We got to learn from NASA professionals and gain insights into how strategic planning and financial investments can create groundbreaking industries and can really change industries as we know it. So this whole experience really reinforced DECA's core mission of creating emerging leaders and preparing them for careers in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management.
Beyond competitions, our DECA chapter prioritized community engagement, leadership development, and networking opportunities. Some notable events include Fall State Leadership Conference, where 13 students learned from industry experts, our Trunk or Treat book drive for Little Libraries of Fall River and Boys and Girls Club Gala, giving back to our local community. Day on the Hill and Parent Teacher Night, strengthening our presence and advocacy. Celtics Night, Red Sox Day, and Boston Bruins outing, enhancing team spirit and camaraderie. Fundraising for MPA and Holiday Present wrapping event, supporting meaningful causes. Our year concluded with the DECA Awards Night on May 23rd, where we celebrated the dedication and achievements of our students, recognizing their hard work and throughout the year, which is my personal favorite. Diamond's DECA chapter continues to grow, inspire, and lead. The success of our students is a direct reflection of their commitment and support of faculty and the encouragement of this committee. Thank you for your Thank you for your continued investment in Diamond's future leaders. We look forward to achieving even greater milestones next year. As a small token of our appreciation for your continued support, we would like to present each of you with the DECA State Pin. These pins symbolize the hard work, leadership, and dedication of our students, values that you as committee members have fostered through your commitment to our school programs. We also trade these pins at the national level. We meet people from all over the world.
I had the opportunity to be a judge down in Hyannis, along with Mr. Jennings and Mr. Kitchen, I believe was there as well, the judge as well. And it's great to see the future, because sometimes you just don't see it. You walk down the halls and you see the horse play and say, oh my God. But overall, I'm very impressed between Checker and Skills USA. It's just breathtaking to hear young students, not young ladies and young men who are going to lead us into the future. And I want to thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our report comes from our Skills USA. Continue.
Good evening, my name is Madeline Cabral. I'm here with my students, teammates Cheyenne Silva and Victoria Rocha. We're all juniors in the Diamond Mental Assisting Program, and we are the Skills USA Massachusetts Gold Medal winners in the Occupational Health and Safety Singles Competition. We're here today to talk about the National Leadership and Skills Conference that will be taking place in Atlanta, Georgia this June from the 23rd to the 28th. As a whole, Diamond performed very well at our state competition in Marlborough, Massachusetts in May. Out of the 75 students who competed, we brought home 24 gold medals, 6 silver medals, 7 bronze medals, and we also had one student take home 2 scholarships themselves.
The gold medal winners advanced and will be representing the state of Massachusetts with 24 students competing in 12 different competitions. Along with 13 dedicated advisors, we depart from Logan on Monday, June 23rd, and will return on Saturday, June 28th. The week will be full of events including state meetings, opening ceremonies, orientations, competition days, and debriefing. The week will culminate with awards night on Friday, June 27th, and even though the week will be busy with Skills USA events, there are opportunities for the students to have a little bit of fun as well.
Both students at Atlanta have been working really hard to prepare for the national competition, so we can proudly represent not only our school, but as well as our state. We want to thank the entire Diamond community and especially the school committee for your continued support with the Skills USA organization. With your support, you have given amazing opportunities for students to showcase their talents while meeting new people and traveling to places they would otherwise not get a chance to. Thank you again. We hope to make Diamond in our state proud at the national competition.
Chairman and members of the committee do want to point out that at last year's national competition, we had our automated manufacturing team take gold medals. They have made the front cover of this year's national. Thank you very much. This of the national magazine that was just released today by Skills USA Massachusetts, and the 3 females in that shot, they represent the first all-female team in the history of Skills USA to take the automated manufacturing competition. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, all the students are welcome to stay for the entire meeting. That's August. But thank you all for your presence tonight, and thank you all for reporting on what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Did he make a flight?
We made a flight, okay, and we took the results. And he took second in the country with a $5,000 scholarship and $1,500 worth of tools. He missed the first place by inches, literally. But he was also operating on 3 hours sleep. Wow. When he competed, so that's quite the.
The junior that was there before took 3rd place. However, we're not allowed to release it until MFG releases it.
So everything I just said.
Yeah. Well, don't play this for 2 days.
Right. But it's very impressive what they can do. But a lot of the leadership here goes to their instructors too. They work with them a lot.
And I want to give you a compliment because I know you're the president of the Massachusetts chapter, and the representation of teachers at the Marlboro was amazing. And it's Diamond's really involved with skills, and that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to 1.5 citizen input. 2.1 school sports events pay rate.
Yes, this was from the last school committee meeting we had. It was a request by the school committee to look into what do other schools do, what is the chart as far as finances, And again, this was proposed as a way to potentially save some cash expenditures. The athletic director, Bobby Bailey, is with us tonight. He did put together this, and I would refer you to both Bobby and to his, what he has written on. Bobby, if you want to take like the short version here.
Yeah, so what I put together here is just a comparison of some of the surrounding districts. So obviously I have Diman. The first column, Case, Westport, Somerset, Durfee. And I had some numbers from other schools, but it was kind of similar to the numbers that we have here. When we're looking at each level and we're looking at pay, I also highlighted the amount of staff that we're paying per game. And in addition to that, in the narrative, I think it also highlights at the sub-varsity levels, which are freshmen, not typically the JV or varsity levels. Sometimes they have kids that volunteer to work certain games. And you only really see that at Westport. I talked to both ADs over there. That's a need. There's some voluntary positions that do exist within their structure, but most of the time it is paid positions. When you look at the major sports like football and basketball, looking at some of the schools, they do include police details. So you can see in Somerset, Durfee, Case also, they include police details, although it says 8 staff, that also is included in some of their games. So like I said, looking at the structure, we do have, similar people who work the games, but.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So you're saying, like, we'll take Case, for example, on football, they have 8 staff, and it's 480 total?
Yes, and then they also pay the police detail.
And that's on top of that?
Correct.
Okay.
The last page in your packet is a comparison of gate receipts, gate supervisors, and shortfall. And you can see that this is one of the aspects I was getting at, putting this out there for the school committee to talk about, which is that if we look at the gate receipt in 24, we took in $2,019. 25, we took in $7,730. The game supervisors, what it costs to have them there, and then you can see that the difference is what the difference is. 3 areas. So, the recommendation would be that this would be left to the school committee's discretion. That's what they want to do. Because right now, we pay people $75 per event. And at the time, still at the time that we're speaking about reducing the per event to $50. But again, it's up to the school committee as to how they feel about it, what they would like to do.
Bobby, what's your, Chairman, Bobby, what's your opinion on this?
I do think it's pretty high, not gonna lie. Certain sports, there will be like the football games and obviously basketball. We're off campus right now, so football, the structure looks a little bit different because when we pay Durfee, like if we play at Durfee, we pay them the securities included, custodials included, cleanups included. The only thing we do is show up and play and then we leave. Atlanta's charter, it's a little bit different as well because typically we don't have as many people work the games. At Atlanta's charter, we can't charge anyone to get in the games anyway, so that really doesn't matter because you can get in from any exit. And then last is Somerset, we usually just pay for a police detail and then someone at the gate. So it looks a little bit different. My only concern is what it would look like for the softball and baseball games, having people drive to the Swansea YMCA. But as far as anything else, I think we should be fine.
Fine leaving it or fine?
No,
reducing. Okay. I mean, the only thing I say is a football game, for example, is a 3-hour venture.
Yeah.
All right. So while a basketball game is an hour.
Yeah.
And they get 75 for each game, 75, 150. Where a guy doing a football game is getting, is getting 75 for 3 hours, which is more than fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think you can't category a football game compared to a soccer or a basketball game, or a volleyball game that's an hour.
Yeah, so when you look at the prices, and if you look at Somerset, some of the positions vary, but also if you're looking at official costs, we're paying officials $100 a game. start getting, obviously, football, like I said, would be a lot different than if we're talking about one basketball game. But if you have an official that's getting paid $73 at a basketball game, technically the door and everyone else are making more than officials. And looking at the numbers, they're making more than a coach throughout the season.
Oh, I know.
When you look at the
Coaches,
numbers.
if you add up how many hours they put in, they're like $5 an hour.
Yeah, so it'd be more beneficial to work the door than coach a team at that point, you know. So when you really start looking at the numbers, and I'm looking at these numbers and the number structure, it's, I mean, you work 3 basketball games, you get paid $250 for the night. You work 4 games in the season, you know, and between officials and coaches, technically, you're really making more than some coaches. Coaching teams.
Personally, I feel we should just leave it to 75 because that's what we're paying now. So now if you drop it down to 50, we don't have a problem filling those spots. And if we do, now we're jammed because now we're at 50.
Yeah.
I
The
agree.
savings
I agree.
for
I would give it the
$25,
same.
I mean, it's just something.
No, basketball is the largest expense. Yeah, so in 24, you spent $19,000. And you brought in 1,800. And in 25, you spent $17,000 and brought in 2,500. So we got
You're saying
one
that,
season.
right, you're saying the 19,000 for basketball.
Yeah.
All right, that's the officials and everything?
No, that's the people working the table and working the door and possibly working security.
There's gotta be more people than kids.
Maybe we can hear that's what we spend out in basketball.
No, I'm just saying, that this is not, because boys basketball at 375, you have 10 home games.
Girls.
Yeah, 375 times 7 home games, so it's 750 times 10. Can't be 19,000.
10 home games on each, and then
I'm just saying, is that not right then?
Well, you're spending 2,500 a game, a night, because you've got the person working the door, we have the person working security, you've got 3 people on the table, all making 2.25 a night.
I believe you, I'm just saying, so that figure's not accurate. He says 5 staff members, total of $375.
No, I'm not looking at that. I pulled
oh
my
no,
payroll.
that's per game.
I pulled my payroll.
I know it's per game,
Yeah.
per game. Per game.
Per game,
I
but
pulled
you
the
actually
pay
pay
sheets.
at a night, freshman,
Okay.
JV, bus.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled the pay sheets.
Yeah.
And that's what we spent.
That's what
Yeah, that's
so-
per game, so 3 games in the night.
Yeah, but yeah, volleyball is 3 games.
So my
Basketball is
coaches,
3 games.
my head coach
Boys
doesn't
and
make $5,000, I don't think. I have to look at the schedule. At best, you're probably spending $11,000 on coaches. And Mr. Chair, through
Yeah.
you, I mean, if you want us to look at it a little more, and make a better recommendation, that's fine. Before the season starts, as it's done.
I mean, and the people being hired to work these positions, where are we finding them? Where are they coming from?
All staff,
They're not staff.
They're all staff.
all teachers or administration.
There's one that's basketball that's not.
Yeah, Dave, who does all the basketball development. But it's all staff.
No, I took,
Well, I have a motion, Mr. Bernard made the motion to keep it at 75. Do I have a second on that one?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Roll call.
Aye. Roll call.
Mr. Jennings,
Yes.
Mr. Beacon, Mr. DiBiaseu,
no, because you're putting it in with football. If football was separate, because I think football deserves the 75. But the rest, to hit a target mark, $50 a game, getting 150 for, 2.5 hours work, I think is
Is that an amendment?
sufficient. So, but
No,
I'm saying no.
Attorney Flanagan,
I'll vote yes.
Mr. Manuel,
I'll vote yes.
Ms. Menard,
Yes.
So it's gonna stay at 75.
at 75.
And then if you want to revisit it for next year, come back with some
Yeah.
more information.
Okay, I understand the shortfalls, but is our athletic department supposed to make a profit?
Or are we here to offer it to the kids?
It would be better not to pay.
Well, it would be better.
No, just open the gate and don't pay the person to collect tickets. It would be easier.
Yeah, you don't make what the person collecting tickets make.
You're losing $5 grand on the person collecting tickets.
Well, how many years have we been paying 75?
Ever since Mr.
Well, I can tell you that goes back to when Keith Allen was the athletic director and football started. So that's been since 2009.
Wow.
Ish. Probably not in the ballpark there because he could get anybody to work the games.
I thought,
And that's
I thought that, Mr. Jennings, I believe that in my tenure here, I wasn't here, but I think that was changed a few years back,
For what?
from 50 to 75.
Oh, no, I think it was recommended, but we didn't change it.
We would pay for the games has been done on a regular basis.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no more volunteers.
Whatever date I tell you that it would be from 50 to 75 or 75 to 50, I can't pin it down. But there's always been paid for the games. And it started with football. When football came back, so it was 2005. Football came back in 2005. That's when people was implemented. People worked the chain gang in the football games, the booth, the announcer, then that trickled down to basketball and then volleyball.
That was 20 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, 3.1, MSBA School Building Committee, report. Mr. DiBiaseo.
All right, myself and, Ms. Bentley, have been attending their Friday meetings. They're at 46% build right now. We're expecting next year at this time to be moving all the furniture and all the shops equipment into the new school. Right now, they are working on the main level floor where the admin office is, and they are starting a sheetrock, which is a beautiful thing. Seeing the wall bring pallets of sheetrock over is beautiful. They are continuing to work on the shops, putting in the overhead electrical and HVAC systems. And on this third floor, if you want to say, or second, they're already at the point of roughing, finishing roughing, and that'll, and fireproofing, I believe, is completely done on all floors. So the roughing will continue for another several months, and then the sheetrock will be the third and fourth floor will be finishing up. On the 16th, we have the window testing for leakage. So they'll be testing several windows that are put in. And this isn't the last time. That was my question to them. Do we test it once and it works and we leave it alone? But no, it's a test that will continue to make sure we have the windows are not leaking when this school opens. All the floors are in except one more floor has to be finished up. I believe it's on the automotive or auto body end.
It's one of the auto shops.
And the maintenance building, that'll start being poured and erected over the summer months, probably into the fall, but that'll be complete. What we just finished doing the other day was Leslie, Brian, and myself, along with their team, took a walk to look at how 2026 September will look for bus drop-offs, teacher parking, student drop-off, and we gave it to the team, and they're going to do all their analogy and set it forth, and hopefully have any changes to it, and come back to the team at a later time to make sure that what we ask for is will be done. So, but they are thinking ahead, and driving around with Jonathan was exciting, wasn't it? His thoughts are a year and a half ahead, and some of the things he was saying, I went, really? Then? So he said, don't repeat that. His mind is always thinking, and really having somebody running the show that really is aggressive thinking. This summer will be really aggressive out there, but the following summer will be really aggressive. And once we get the teachers' lot, which will be down on the softball field settled, they're not stopping there. They're going to start on the baseball field, the fencing, the infield, getting that started. And then as soon as we can get the teachers up to their proper parking in 2027 during the school year, then they'll start stripping out what's down there on the softball multi-purpose field and start working on those as well. So they are really thinking ahead. I mean, how fast things are going to move once they get going. So
You have a visual, we have a pamphlet rather that was passed out at the last school building committee meeting, and it gives you kind of a visual representation of what they've been doing. Front, back, inside is some statistics on costs and payouts.
we are, and for everybody's knowledge, we are on budget and on time at this point. So that's a good thing.
Moving on to the contract change order.
I don't have I left my packet at home. I apologize, everybody.
We're on, this would be PCCO 005. This was affirmed and voted through at the school building committee meeting. That was last Monday, the 9th, sorry. And it was 112,438.52, but it needs to be reaffirmed by the full committee. That's why it's presented tonight.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll be looking for a change order from PCCO number 005 for a total of the $112,428.52.
I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay. Also, we're looking to for purchase PCCO number 006 for the total of $106,529.22.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then it's the MSBA project expenditures, Mr. Kitchen.
The month of May, Colliers, we received an invoice of $118,820.55. Yay. There's an invoice for $115,537. Then the AIA for May for Suffolk Construction is $10,654,648.82.
I just didn't see. I have the Colliers and the Suffolk one, but I do not see. Oh, I got it. It's together.
Yeah, the stamp with the Colliers.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman,
Yep. Okay, recommendation to approve the MSBA project expenditures as submitted. Need a motion?
so moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I can mention that the April invoice of 16 million was submitted. We did receive the payment of 12,951,000.
Was that expected? I thought we were around 11 million.
No,
You're looking at 13.
no, it was a 30,000. I mean, 30,000 was a lot bigger. Again, it was an estimate, so.
We were only notified that this.
Yeah, I got the email number.
All right, moving on to B, personnel, Mr. Henry.
The personnel, this is for the committee's information. You see the appointments of a metal fab instructor, carpentry instructor, and also when we had our OBS banquet here, there was a person in charge of that running it. We also have some placement testing coming up. That'll be in August. And we do have some, that was in April. We have the 3 people who ran that. That was a placement of our incoming class at 20. Where they're going to be in classes. Extracurricular activity advisors out there also. We do have a resignation, Mr. Valenti as a carpentry aide. That is because he was appointed as a carpentry teacher. We also had a resignation from Lisa Young, health assisting, and she has been appointed as the director of the LPN program. We've been notified of several retirements that are upcoming. Dr. Stephen Alves, health assistant instructor, he will retire at the end of next year, June 30th, 2026. And Deborah Buffington, an English teacher, she also submitted her intent to retire effective June 30th, 2026. That is for the community information.
to the personnel,
Actually, for personnel, we do have for an advisory board appointment, Brian Franco of carpentry. He's a diamond graduate, class of '83, worked in cabinet making trade since graduation. 2005, started his own business, which has grown to be successful. His appointment to the advisory board will allow him to share his experience and knowledge to help the younger generation to succeed in realizing a very important skill. The recommendation is to appoint Brian Franco to the carpentry and cabinet making advisory board for a term of 3 years.
need a motion to motion. Need a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm gonna skip this one.
Yep, this will come back to
I'm
that.
gonna come back after executive session.
D, student travel report.
We do have some student travel coming up. First is a student travel for a student in the business technology department. He has been honored as a winner, and he's traveling out to national competition in the Microsoft Boston Office Specialist Competition in Dallas, Texas. It'll be coming up June 15th through June 18th. The recommendation is to approve this out-of-state travel and also overnight to the MLS student, June 15th through June 18th in Dallas, Texas.
Need a motion to approve? Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Next, we have Aaron Soers, track coach. He submitted an out-of-state travel request for a student to compete in the National Nationals June 20th and June 21st in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And the recommendation is to approve that out-of-state travel for Aaron Soers and the student to compete. And the student is Grace Flattery. And she's the track phenom here, who's won just about everything under this and set records throughout the school. That's coming up June 20th, June 21st in Philadelphia.
Need a motion? Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
And the next one is coming up. Skills USA advisors have submitted an out-of-state and overnight request for students to attend Skills USA Nationals in Atlanta, Georgia, June 23 to June 28. Recommendation is to approve this out-of-state overnight request submitted by the Skills advisors to attend the Skills Nationals in Atlanta, Georgia, June 23rd to June 28th.
Need a motion to approve? Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Moving on to E, request establish a new club. Mr. Beck?
So yes, we've had a group of students who came forward, and I'll point out a very impressive PowerPoint that the students did. It's in your packet, and kind of an odd request, but they approached a teacher, brand new physics teacher here, a request to establish a badminton club. And the club will allow badminton to be more accessible for all students. Mr. Mitchell has signed up to and has agreed to be the club advisor. This advisor will not be compensated, and it is not in the DTA contract. So they approached him. They gave a very stunning approach to us here in the administration. We reviewed it. We agree with it. And the recommendation is to approve the request to establish a badminton club. The advisor will not be compensated as the club is not in the DTA contract. They have sworn to us, the kids have, that they will find a place to do this.
I was gonna say, because the gym is
They're-
like all the time.
It's not in the gym, that's just it.
Just against the wall in the parking lot, they're like, we'll figure it out, so.
The kids have said, "Listen, give us a spot, or if you tell us yes, we'll find a spot." So.
Awesome.
Need a motion to approve?
So,
Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
In your packet though, of the students, there's a white sheet like this, and on the back of the names of the students who signed up, say that basically if we build it, they will come.
Good.
So, impressive.
Moving on to F, request to change the name of a student activity club.
Students, the advisors rather for the diversity club, met with myself and Mrs. Weckerster because they said that the name of the club kind of pigeonholes things and they would rather have it changed to something a little more diversified. In discussion with them, it was said that what they're trying to build here is a different culture. What is the culture of the building, the different diverse areas that the students come from, their backgrounds, athletic abilities, it doesn't really matter what. But rather than calling it diversity club, they would like to have it called the Diamond Culture Club. That they're trying to build something here with a new culture here at Diamond as we go into a new building to reinforce the values of Diamond and how they can exemplify this through different activities. Mrs. Weckerson and I do agree with this, and the recommendation is that to change the name of Diversity Club to the Diamond Culture Club. It is only a change in the title, not in the compensation. It would have to be reflected in the Diamond Teachers contract at some point, but initially it starts with this.
All right, need a motion?
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Is the correspondence from the PTA incorrect? It is?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted, because it said time and events committee, so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure to change.
What happened, they were talking about events and they said, no, it sounds like you're gonna put on a
Oh,
dance or a.
I just wanted to make sure.
We're gonna do
Sorry.
something every week, we said,
Sorry,
no. Thank you for picking up
Interfere.
on that, Attorney Brody. That was
Yeah.
after discussion.
Need a motion to
So
make the
moved.
change? Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? G, we have the 25-26 school calendar change.
Yes, Mrs. Wagner, I presented the calendar, but after going through some manipulations with the city of Fall River, all of them good, that they have agreed to, once again, to allow us to use Fairview High School's field for our graduation. But it's complicated with the fact that Diamond, and I presented this at the last meeting, the Skills USA contest is going to now be the first week in June instead of the third week in June. That's our graduation week. So in reimagining the calendar, Fairview has said, no problem, you can have it when you need it, which will now be in the second week of June. And this now changes the following, that we're going to have, it is proposed that graduation rehearsal be from June 2nd, will now be June 8th. Awards night will also go from June 3rd, also to June 8th, and that graduation will be from June 4th to June 9th. So within a very short period of time, in the second week of June, there will be rehearsal, followed by an awards night that night, and then graduation the following night. By the committee.
A recommendation.
And the recommendation is to please approve that.
I'll make a motion. Motion, need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Moving on to H, the use of facilities.
Diamond PTO has submitted a request to use the student parking lot Sunday, September 7th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the annual car show and scholarship fundraiser. The recommendation is to approve this request by the Diamond PTO for the student parking lot Sunday, September 7th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. for their car show and to waive all use of facilities fees.
Need a motion to
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you. The next is that the Diamond PTO has submitted a request to use the gym on Friday, November 7th, from 2:30 p.m. on to set up for their craft fair, which will be on Saturday, November the 8th, 2025. This is an annual event. 9 to 3 is the craft fair, and to waive all use of facilities and fees.
Recommendation is to approve. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to I, accepting the gifts.
As an anonymous benefactor has made a donation of $1,900, and the intent of this donation was to award and is to award $100 to the outstanding vocational student from each of the vocational programs. The recommendation is to accept the donation of $1,900 from this anonymous benefactor to award $100 to the OBS student from each of the vocational programs.
Is that this year?
It's already been done.
Yeah, we talked about it.
All right.
This person has done this now 2 years in a row. and
Nice,
It's
very
greatly
nice.
appreciated.
Need a motion to accept?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. It's something that already occurred. Bill Farrar, the owner of St. James Irish Pub, he donated food for the staff during the Staff Appreciation Week. The recommendation is to accept that donation made
Since
by
it's
Bill
already
Farrar.
consumed.
See, now it's already. Okay.
No.
Give it back.
I can tell you the chicken wings were outstanding. But the recommendation is to not only to accept this, but also to thank you.
All right, need a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Are we
Opposed?
sending him some kind of a thank
Oh,
you
yes,
From
yes. That-
from the board also?
We'll check on that part for you. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Give us food.
It
was very nice.
And he just did it out of the blue. Next is Richard Robitaille from RJR Solutions. He's donated $2,000 in tools to the electricity program to be given to a senior who may need them. That has also already been done. And the recommendation is to accept that donation from Richard Robitaille from RJR Solutions of $2,000. The electricity program to be given to a senior. And that also will come with our thanks and appreciation for supporting us.
Need a motion to accept it. Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
And John Fatoma from Carl's Collisions donated a 2008 Toyota Highlander with an estimated value of $3,000 to the auto collision program. And this is, the recommendation is to accept the donation made by Mr. Fatoma from Carl's Collision of a 2008 Toyota Highlander to the auto collision program.
Need a motion? Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
That list I just read, that is we're very thankful for people who support Diamond, continue to support them. Very thankful.
Jay, vision of a graduate?
Yes, Mrs. Wackerson will actually report on this, as Mrs. Wackerson has worked year-long since coming here on this. She has some representatives with her tonight too, I believe. Mrs. Wackerson, if you would.
Yeah, so this was a nice way to kind of springboard right into the community and get involved with stakeholders. So I appreciated the opportunity. So the vision of the graduate in creating one came out of our last Me-Ask evaluation that was done in 2024. So I had some staff members, a couple sitting behind me that were involved in the professional development, and you had some parents and community stakeholders that were involved. So we even had some students and some other staff members that cannot be here this evening. So what we did is we tried to identify, and I wanted to tie together the branding of the new building. And, you know, how could we tie and move everything together about our vision of what the future graduate of Diamond will look like. So we came up with the idea of identifying characteristics that stand for the word Bengal come out. So we worked on this. We probably met just about once a month, really coming up with some ideas, and the students were actually great. When it came down to really wordsmithing and navigating the language, we came up with 4 pretty awesome renditions of what BENGAL stands for. And then it went out into a survey in there, and you can see the demographics of the community stakeholders that took the time to take the survey. And one of the most impressive things on this, I wish the results were a little bit higher, but one of the things that I've noticed here is lack of parental involvement. However, when it came time to the survey and really coming into the future of the Bengal graduate, what that means, parents and family members were the largest stakeholder group. So I think that that was important. So if you flip, you can see each of the words. There is a final rendition of what it is, but you can see the percentage. Some of them are really close. Others kind of knock them out of the park. And even the committee, we were voting privately. I want this word, right, Jerry? We went back and forth on quite a few. But to hear the kids, so E, I'm gonna just use the word E. So employability skills is something for the last 30 years have been a big deal on what we teach and ingrain. And it was the kids that said, listen, we're gonna do that anyway because that's ingrained in us. We're looking for a different representation of E. So if you look on the final page, the one that is white, that is the final rendition. So we came up with balanced, demonstrates proven technical skills and a growth mindset, thriving in both career and personal life. Empowered, brings confidence in their ability to develop innovative ideas and solutions to real-world challenges. Navigator of change, embraces adaptability and forward thinking, thriving in evolving environments. Genuine, acts with authenticity, honesty, and integrity towards themselves and others. Accountable, takes ownership of actions and outcomes. And finally, leader, inspires and guides others towards positive change. I think that that is an excellent rendition of the future of Diamond. In my experience of working with employers over the last 20 years, putting out graduates that can do these things is going to keep us on top. So my hope is that the committee will approve this as it is written, and then I can begin to work with the staff on how we're going to tie it into everything that we do to the future of Diamond. So this is just not for what the expectations of students. This is the expectations of all of us that are part of this.
This should be on a plaque when you enter the school.
Oh, don't worry, it's gonna be everywhere. Because it, you know, one of the things, it needs to be on our letterhead. It needs to be, and that's part, not just because I say so, right? It's because that is the branding that we need to happen everywhere and a consistent message throughout our community that that's what we stand for.
Any questions, Mr. Moore?
I have a question, and I was gonna ask it during the breakdown of the school building. Was there any thought given to putting any type of time capsule in the new building? Did we ever discuss that?
Mr. Flanagan, you're right on. What our goal is this entire year. This is the last year that this building will be utilized as we know it. So we've challenged the class of
Next year,
26, to come up with various ideas. One of the young ladies before you tonight, she's really spearheading this thing. So we're looking at everything from doing some videotaping of things that are going to happen this year to putting every shop coming up with something that can go into a time capsule that kind of literally encapsulate what they believe their shop would represent 50 years from now, 70 years from now, whenever they dig up and build another rendition of Diamond. Hopefully not. But that is what the goal is this year, that we have to capture the spirit and the essence of Diamond this year and save it for future generations.
And
that's what's happening this year.
Done in this building or no?
It is, and it's out there somewhere. I really thought they were gonna find it because I was always told that it was gonna be on a football field and it was down there someplace. They did find a car that was buried down there. It was
You
dumped.
don't wanna know about that.
It was dumped down there. They were amazed when they found the car because it was part of the field that got thrown in to build the field. But we really thought that there would be something down there. There is something down there, just don't know where it is because somebody kind of threw that page out, threw that part out. So this will be documented, it will be put down someplace, you'll all be part of this, but we all have to contribute. Anybody who has something to do with Diamond will have something to do with Diamond. It's a time capsule.
Yes.
So yes, that's all been thought about. There also has to be something about the end of life of this building, which is coming up when it happens. What are we going to do to preserve, save, keep, give away something? You know, I kiddingly always say something like we sell bricks for $1 or something, that they take something out of it. You'd be surprised what people want when I talk to them. And they say that I'd love to take one last walkthrough through Diamond. You know, and people said we will pay admission to walk through the halls one more time. And I went, fundraiser.
Good, yeah.
So someone told me, said, can we buy the lockers? And I went, so it's interesting what people are looking for. Fenway Park sold their seats, if you remember that. So just, yes, it is actively being pursued as what are we going to do for Diamond.
That's outstanding. Thank you. Any other questions?
Okay, recommendation is to approve the vision of the graduate as submitted. Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for everyone that,
Listen, I want to let you know, Leslie did a great job on that.
With help from a few friends.
all right, moving on to K, prom transportation costs.
Yes, this was put on here as a recommendation from the school committee, as a suggestion from the school committee about the prom transportation costs. The prom is held in Newport. We don't allow the students to drive there. We transport them by coach bus. It's very safe. It's very expensive. There's about $14,000-$15,000 charge for the 3 buses that three buses this
No,
year.
it was eight buses.
Eight buses
And it was
this year.
14,200, and that's why.
That is why Mr. Jennings brought it forward. So I did ask about how this is done. I'll give you the short version. They sell tickets for the prom. What they bring in by selling tickets to the prom doesn't really cover the cost of the prom. And I believe the thought behind it was that at least if the school committee could put forth a motion to pay for the transportation costs, that's one less thing they have to think about. Well, in looking at what took place this year, you did pay for the cost, the school did, okay, but it still came up fairly short. Okay, they're still not bringing in enough revenue, but whatever the cost of the prom is, still has to be paid for, and it's paid for by the school. You can't designate that you are going to pay for the transportation, which will stay there until it's amended for something else. But I want to alert the committee that you are contributing towards the cost of the prom. So whether they charge $100, $125, $150, there's still a shortfall. So you're already doing it. I bring that to your attention. If you want to go ahead with the recommendation, still say, but we still would like to have this designated that we will pay for transportation.
Yes.
You figure everything else out. That can be done, but you're already contributing to the
Well, it'd be
cost.
one less thing that they have to even think about.
We have a line item for that.
No, because if they want a deficit, we pay it.
Out of what?
Out of regular appropriation. Cover any negative balance in that, because you can't carry a negative balance when the kids leave. Similar to if they did have, like, 2 years ago, they had extra money. They actually donated, senior class donated it for a feature down at the building. So that was set up to the side. Usually in 24, there was about $1,400. And what they'll do is they'll give it to the junior class. So when the junior class then comes to the senior class, all they're doing is giving it to themselves because the advisors don't rotate, they stay there. So when the junior class goes up, they have that $1,400 to start. They're fundraising for tickets, and tickets I don't think have gone up.
Yeah, they try to keep,
So
they don't.
It's $100 a ticket. And they can do their fundraisers, they do candy sales, and do a few other things. But if they were in the hole, if they were negative 10,000, we would have to pay it. Because we can't let the club go forward without it, so they'll never have a negative balance.
From what I understand, every year, I guess the transportation.
Oh, it's like everything, it's like our transportation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, they get coaches, they get,
And that's what made me think about it,
I
I was just trying to help out.
I think both Scott Trent and Ally got it, does a phenomenal job being senior advisors, and they've got it down to what they do, how they fundraise, and keep costs at a minimum. They've always known that if it's an expense, that the district will cover it. So rather than setting it aside and saying you're gonna cover transportation for the future, it just kind of that you're gonna earmark that for the future. Boom, but if things get tight, you're not gonna withdraw that. So it's easier just to say we will always make them whole rather than to earmark for that particular purpose.
Discussion.
Are we putting transportation out to bid?
We put regular transportation out, so we utilize, no, because it's not high enough. It's $14,000, so they want coaches, Tremblay's who's our regular transportation, don't carry coaches anymore. So we use Fisher Bus. Fisher's been there was 1 year where they were short a bus, and we ended up using another provider, one bus, and then Fisher covered the difference.
Don't want to not.
Oh, absolutely, we know what the price of one anymore.
There's not a lot of competition.
What's occurred, what's occurred with bus transportation is that they all realize there's enough, they all want to keep it to the pie. So Tremblay takes Diman, they also have Westport. Fisher takes Somerset, and Whaling City kind of spreads between New Bedford and Fall River. Bloom takes time, they all know, they don't compete with one another, that's why when we put our bid out, we don't get one provider. Well aware. So unless it's like
Seen it.
Well, in the city of Fall River, they have very rigid RFP, so work for the benefit of the vendors also. So I would just prefer to allow us to continue to cover any expenses that are negative based and not earmark a particular item in the budget for senior transportation.
And that was and I was not thoroughly aware until I had that conversation with Mr. Kitchen about that. And essence, he said, we're covering the cost anyway. And as Mr. Kitchen said, the $100 per ticket, it didn't seem to stop participation this year because there were close to 450 students that attended senior prom this year.
I just don't want the price of the ticket to skyrocket and then the kids can't afford their load.
Correct.
You know, so
I agree.
I figured this was one way of preventing that, but we're covering the costs in a roundabout way. I just don't want to, if you don't look like the tickets are gonna go up any further, then I think we should be looking at helping.
I think before the tickets, say next year it goes up, do they want to raise the ticket price up to $125? That's a conversation that two advisors would have with either myself and Mr. Bentley. Like I said, we would just say no, because therefore we would just anticipate having a negative balance.
Right. As long as that's understood.
It's
that
controlled.
It's gonna be.
It's so much safer for the kids.
You know, if they were gonna go further than Providence, then, you know, Boston, then it's gonna be an additional expenditure. Then you have to really kind of figure out what is the true expense? Is it worth that kind of being an elaborate setting? But that's a further discussion.
I think for as long as I've been on the board, I think mainly it's been Newport, maybe Providence, you know.
Those have been the two places. I
Yeah.
think they found their niche this year because they were back at the Newport Marriott, and which is a beautiful place. And they've already signed up for next year. We've already put down a deposit. So the students really had a good time.
They actually just proposed 2027 from, that one, they were switched to the Dover and Mill. It just got run done in Bedford.
That's okay. We'll talk about that.
But 2 years to fundraise.
Somebody suggest that.
Have you seen
No,
it?
You should see
No,
it. Yeah, it's
no,
only,
it's beautiful.
it's one stairway, one elevator, and a service elevator. I know about that. It's another story.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it as is, and if we need to address this at another time.
Thank you. I do thank the committee though for the way you thought about it, and that was the way it was presented. They're very thankful for that. They know what they want to do for the kids, and you're helping them. So I do thank you for that.
And the transportation from here to there and there back is so great.
It's lovely.
Better for our students.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, monthly financial report, Mr. Kitchen.
In the financials on the first page, about the fourth one down, you'll see it's a negative balance of $115,000 for district-wide administration. It's a little misleading because one of those salaries is actually the LPN director. It's not budgeted in that line, it's budgeted inside the LPN salary line, so transfer the money, it'll be fine. The other one is the DAA contract. Further down, you'll see a $29,000 deficit in substitutes, which was anticipated. Second page, there are a few small negative balances due to encumbrances. Bottom of the page, school security is a negative, and that's due to some of the details by the police. Third page is a negative balance, $138,000, and that is for the insurance for retirees. So we took into account for the active employees, we've got a healthy balance there, so what we'll do is we'll transfer it down. It's just that the retirees weren't anticipated to be as high as they were.
So you can just transfer it?
I can, what I will do is I'll do a transfer in August to realign the closure.
Good.
Yeah. As far as the clubs, there is no outstanding balances on any of them, so they're fine. Just to be benefit, we still have a healthy balance in the school store.
Any questions on the, moving on to expenditures? Mr. Kitchen.
We've already covered the MSBA expenditures, the known expenditures at the time when we sent out the notice was for the plumbing department for $10,000, $10,856.58 that's for equipment for the shop, for pads and $1,000 worth of footballs. Hill Run is beds for the health assisting, $53,998. And then Solace is the curriculum for physics. That actually, it says academic textbooks, but a portion of that is going to be paid Title I, $240,000. So you go to Planet Grants.
Those beds, those are stored or we're gonna use them now? Stored for
Those won't be delivered till December, January. So
yeah, they'll have a.
preferably they'll be delivered down below. There are going to be, with the close of the year and some of the information that I didn't get from my department heads, we do have some expenditure over $10,000, which I recommend the chair to approve. Committee approves. It's roughly, there's 2 pieces of equipment for advanced manufacturing for $40,000. This is off the top of my head, I'm sorry to say this. There is graphics, we're still waiting on quotes for graphics for some of the equipment. We're removing the presses out of graphics, the oil presses, the headmans, which is good because then we'll get rid of the chemicals and bring in other more current print equipment. That can be set up there or it can be stored in that shop. Now, have to take acceptance of it, we can't, so that's on the state contract also. There's a few other items I know I was looking at, even cap tables for down below, and
Yeah, we're storing all the desks and everything else.
the desks are all set. I just don't have one on hand, sorry, but there are a few items that I've been getting quotes on. Advanced manufacturing, there's nothing. This is the shops. We already approved for our laptops for the kids. There's a refresh of $12,000 for the guidance department, but laptops for the guidance department, personnel, I guess. But there are a few items I'd like to have the chair have the authority to approve. The largest one will be the graphics. They're expensive pieces of equipment.
All right.
And we do have, I'm just kind of waiting also for the retroactive pay for
Did
contract.
Did Greg talk to you about the paint booth from Water Body and the storage of it?
It's, no, did not.
Right, so supposedly, we're not ready for it. And they want to charge us, like, this big money per week, like 900 a week. So they're trying to work out where we buy the trailer, the 2 trailers, I believe it's 2 or 3 trailers, okay, for a fee, which would come out to around $9,000. And then after we get them in, we sell the trailers. That's the only way the company will ship them. So you might want to talk to them about that. But it's huge money for us to store them on site until we're ready for them. So that was like the easiest way to do it.
All right, moving back to football helmets.
Yep.
We talked, I think it was last year about these
I
helmets.
rely on
Helmets?
the very.
What helmets are we buying?
The good.
The good ones?
Good ones. I don't have a breakdown on it. He selected them. I rely on his expertise. He had requested, it's about roughly up to 12,000 in helmets and pads. So we were going to recondition some of them, and then when they looked at the reconditioning of the pads, the provider suggested that they replace a number of them. So we won't put helmets and pads this year.
Because I know, I think it was last year we had that discussion.
Yeah, it was about
Yeah, a couple of years ago, concussion.
Yeah. Truthfully, I never played, so, you know, I think what Mr. Berry had selected is the one that we moved to.
Correct.
So what he's selecting now is that particular.
All right, just checking. Recommendation to vote to approve, need a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The law requires the chair. It's already a practice, but you
Yeah.
feel comfortable.
N, transfer of revenue to the capital fund.
All right, so we have revenue that we've realized through the sale of our equipment and also from the interest primarily on the bonds. So our revenue on the bonds is that 211,796.63. And so to date, this year, the sale of surplus equipment is 149,659.47. We still haven't, I anticipate getting another interest payment in June, of approximately 26 to 27,000. So that's why I listed it as June's interest. And we do have surplus items out also, so we may end up realizing another 20,000 sales of surplus equipment. So what I'd like to do is take that revenue, that miscellaneous revenue, and put it into the E&D capital fund for the purpose of the field development next year, whether it's lighting or whether it's the purchase of the poles or even just groundwork, because groundwork is no longer covered.
All that's being put into a BCCO for our next meeting, so it's already out to bid.
That's okay.
So,
This would fund it. This would be a funding source outside of the project. Just for information, I need a motion to allow the placement of the transfer of this miscellaneous revenue into the the capital fund.
Just a question on those fields. I know we talked about the lighting. Some years ago, we were supposed to put lighting up
Baseball field.
on the baseball field. Was there any work done at that time?
In the project, though, they're gonna do the underground work.
I didn't know if there was any type of work that was done back then, the prepping.
The base was
the
there.
bases were put in, and it's not, and the piping was there, not the
But it's all,
concrete.
but nothing was ever run.
That
It's
was-
not, it's, I mean,
Yeah, it all get chewed up.
as they do the development down there, that's all been taken out.
Yeah.
So they will do the underground work. That's where it's gonna stop down below, so I just think it's, we're
Reallocated.
realizing this revenue from sources that, basically were unanticipated. And I believe you'll find more interest when we borrow next month on
Well,
5 million, so.
well, it's in the project.
I understand, no, I understand, I'm just saying, it's in the additional
Additional.
bonding for $800,000, I believe, right? For lighting. But that is non-reimbursable
Correct.
money, so I'm saying,
Most
you
of
don't
that
have to
is.
borrow the 800,000.
Yeah,
You
we
have probably 400 right here, and if next year, if you have high interest again, and you have surplus money, I should say surplus equipment revenue, especially when you sell kitchen equipment, you'll probably realize that you may not have to borrow 800, you may have to borrow 2. Or you may be able to embellish on what's there, whether it's a scoreboard or whether it's,
that
Baggage.
hasn't, that type of stuff hasn't been introduced
I
yet.
know, but I'm just saying, it's a source of revenue that you may not have to borrow against.
So the recommendation is to transfer the $211,796.
And the,
$149,659 from FY '24 interest to and FY '24 sales.
into the
E&D.
E&D.
Motion, need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, FY '26 coming.
These are the list of encumberances that we do annually for the upcoming year. So when we open up next month, or actually we opened up yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Those are the anticipated expenditures over $10,000.
Brenda, the turf tank, what is that, a rental?
Turf tank is a lease, not a lease. Yeah, I guess it's not a lease. It's a 3-year agreement with that Mr. Bailey requested for a paint machine. So what it does is it automatically paints, so we'll paint the fields once we have it installed. We do use it.
Yeah, it
basically does a GPS.
We used to pay for somebody to bring their machine down here to do our football field the first time. Now we're gonna own it.
So it's cost us, is it 15,900 for a
3
year?
years.
3 years.
Per year.
Per
3
year?
years.
So that's
$45,000.
$45,000.
Yep.
Are we owning it after this?
Yes. We will own it.
And it's just gonna be for the softball and baseball, and if you do soccer, because football's gonna be permanently.
It right depends if they tuck the lines, yeah. If they toughen them in, they change the color of the turf, otherwise you paint it. Unless you sew in white lines, turf is actually changed, right? It changes the color. So it's green all the way through, right? But if you put your lines in on a turf field, you have to tough those lines with a white line. But then if you do lacrosse or you do the field, then you have to paint it. You have to have all those corner kicks and everything else in there. So most people don't tough them. They tuck the corner kicks. But otherwise you just paint it.
Really? Yep. Because every artificial field I've ever seen is it's permanently in there. It's in the blanket.
If you change the colors, they sew the lines, but they're white lines. So the turf changes.
I'm so confused because I
That's my understanding. That's what we did in the festival. We painted every so often, fluff it. Right, like corner kicks, yellow. So we sewed it yellow line.
Right. Interesting.
At the end of 3 years, we own it.
Yep.
How about any maintenance?
It's
Warranties on the machines.
It's similar to, I'm sure there will be a service contract.
Yeah.
You probably get it because in order to have it for long, have a
They break down a
life,
lot.
you have to flush it, you have to maintain it, you have to oil it.
So it comes with a service contract.
It does now, yes. During the period of payments, it's covered.
And that 3 years, is we still
I
have
think
it.
we'd add one. No, we'd probably add one.
And who puts down the lines? Who's doing it?
It's Bailey.
Bailey's doing it?
That's what he said. I haven't been out to watch it, but
I'll be straight line.
No, it's programmed. You set, it's like a program. You set it. And
yeah,
it
I mean, it runs with a GPS.
Yeah,
Really,
it is.
It just,
Can't go,
they
you
set it
can't make
up.
a mistake with
I
it
think
unless you
I
program
haven't
it
seen how
wrong.
they set it up, he did it. I think, my description of that was that maintenance wasn't with them at the time, so they should have been.
Right. They're gonna do
They
it.
should assume responsibility.
Right, absolutely.
That's a further discussion.
All right, that's a discussion now, huh?
You don't want to, I'll tell you that.
Recommendation, any other questions or comments? Recommendation to approve the FY 26. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? P, surplus books and equipment.
So as I mentioned, we currently are out in surplus for some of our equipment. There are bed mills from Metal Fab. Graphics is the stitcher and the head presses. Voc-Tech has a few small items. Building property has a bandsaw. We have motors that were either donated or put them inside the storage tank now on the stroke. Carpentry has a small couple items. HVAC is getting rid of smaller items that are hand tools that are incomplete sets, pipe insulation, threaders, those are the thread guys, and some of the condensers. Electrical have a boiler, and they also need compressor. On the second page are the books, which are being surplus to the shops.
Are any of these books, I ask this question every time, do you put onto the Chromebook, or we still buying hard copies?
These
I know
are,
we
these are
do.
being, these are hard copies that are surplus.
Yeah, but the stuff we're buying to replace them.
What we're buying, what's about now, like, other than some of the smaller code books, that I think plumbing wanted to keep a hard copy,
I
but,
can see that, yeah.
but, electrical is online. It's really a preference of the shop, but the majority of them are going over to electric, digital.
Yeah, but,
Yeah. Or they'll keep a plastic set, you know. like
yeah,
one set.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
For a kid, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people don't do that.
Yeah.
All right, the recommendation to approve the school book, need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Community House Building Subcommittee report, Mr. DiBiase.
Is Maria around, and she went off, Lynn? Well, that's your last meeting with us, so I wanted to make sure she made it there.
She's still on.
Oh, hi, Maria. Did she come through again? She can't respond, it says.
Mrs.
Even on my glasses. I
hold on.
got everything today, my pack and my glasses.
All right, try now.
Hello.
Hi, Maria. Maria, just
Hi.
gonna go over the community projects.
Yes. Does anybody have any questions? We did well with community projects this year. Serviced a lot of our communities with some pretty big projects. A couple of things will be carried over into next year because there really isn't enough time to do everything with the house. But yes, we did well.
And then the 24, 25, the house that's ready to go almost.
Yes, we will be having an open house. Everyone is invited to on Tuesday at Tess Abigail Lane in Swansea, and it is from 4 to 5:30.
And the house is about 90, what, about, let's say 97%, Maria?
Yes, there was just a couple of change orders that the homeowner did, so we won't be able to finish the pantry. They will be doing that on their own, and just some painting that we may not get able to get to, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Maria, is this the first one we've done in 7 years for a homeowner?
Yes, for a private owner.
For a private owner. So, and then for next year, 25, 26?
We have the Westport home that we're going to be working on. The contract was before you to sign this evening. The homeowner has already signed it. It's been reviewed by Attorney Brilliant, and we're ready to roll.
Need a recommendation to approve the 25, 26 house building program contract. Need a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do you need a full vote on the open house? We took one of the,
You did not, it was recommended. The subcommittee voted to, they
Yeah,
should go to the
right.
full vote with it.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's just- I'll make a motion for the school to have an open house on Tuesday, date
Tuesday,
17th, from 4 to 5, 4 to 5:30. 4 to 5:30, yeah. And the address is Tess Abigail's in Swansea, Mass, which is off of Park Street.
second? Need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to, well, we have the subcommittee on the policy schedule.
I apologize, I was late.
Yes, Superintendent Director report.
Very briefly, before you, I have 4 items in the again, this will be the final report for this school year. The enrollment report is still staying strong. We have maintained a figure of between 1458 and 1465 all year long. So, which is good. Admissions report, we're still taking in students on their admissions packet taken in, and we are at 877 applications for Diamond for 385 positions. So we are very cooperative education, we are in very good shape again. There is a chart before you there. You see that we have 187 seniors out, 71 juniors. Actually, it's going a little higher since I did this report. So again, co-op is working well. And on LPN, the real headline news is that our 15 part-time students are set to graduate on Friday, June the 20th, 6 p.m. here at Diamond Regional. There today, we had a full load of students for the incoming class. They are at 35 students right now. And that is prompting my requesting yellow that the LPN subcommittee does need to get together before a school committee meeting, just to start making plans for the 26-27 school year. 25-26 is looking successful.
Mr. Deegan is the
He is the chair of that. So I do have to wait for him. And he agrees that there needs to be something, but we gotta open up that discussion.
Okay. And this is for the,
That'd be the 26-27 school year. Yes. This
yeah,
year, we're okay.
this year we're all
This year,
set.
we're okay.
Right.
It's 26-27 that we do have to discuss. Today, they had orientation. Welcome to the new class coming in, and financial aid was going over. I think it was after you talked to us. Thanks, kids. That's the end of my report.
Right, any questions? No, moving on to T calendar events.
Calendar events it is what it is. I'll point out two things. We have our last day of school scheduled for June 18th. And on June 19th, there's no school day, it's a holiday.
Right.
And June 20th is the LPN graduation. Again, everyone's invited. If you are planning on attending, please just notify me so we can make plans.
Do have a correspondence letter from the town of Westport Recreation Department. That was on the lifeguard chair.
Yes, it was.
Our next scheduled meeting is for July the 10th, 2025. Did we come up with a time for that?
I don't, do we want to do 5:30 or do we want
It's up
to try to
the,
do it earlier in the day?
5:30 is good.
Yeah.
5:30. Set it for 5:30.
And if you want,
Yes.
we'll just do a quick, policy.
Policy right before.
All right, we need to go into executive
Yes,
session.
we do, Mr. Chairman, pursuant to the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 20, Paragraph 2, legislative sessions, negotiations with non-personnel, sessions of general negotiations, staff individual employment agreements. Brian has been the superintendent director, Kyle Gazal, storekeeper, Stephen Cooney, paraprofessional, Stephanie Ferrera.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, Frank.
Christopher Lopez, professional, paraprofessional. I believe Mona is paraprofessional, Melissa Rogers, paraprofessional, Andrew Rossi, paraprofessional, and Jay Sylvia, assistant administrator. Secondary pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20. Sessions.
Okay, need a motion to go into executive session. Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Need a roll call?
Mr. Jennings,
Yes.
Mr. Deegan, Mr. DiBiase,
Yes.
Attorney Flanagan,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Ms. Menard.
Oh,
Mr. Mr. Jennings,
Here.
Mr. Beegan, Mr. DiBiaseu,
Here.
Attorney Flanagan,
Here.
Mr. Manuel,
Here.
Miss Menard.
Here.
All right, we're in open session.
We're going to take up agenda item 3.0, new business, 3.1, other matters, individual employment contracts. And I'm going to respectfully recommend the motion to accept the contracts of Brian Bentley, Stephen Cunha, Stephanie Ferrera, Paul, Christopher Lopez, Idalina Monis, Melissa Rodriguez, Kendra Rossi, and Andre Sylvia as negotiated.
Motion.
Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
That's it. Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Need a second? All in favor?
Aye. Thank you. See everybody in July.